freedom. That's what we're about here. Freedom Tapestry Project. I'm Aaron Jack. Welcome. We're going to have Gabe on here. And welcome. Freedom. Freedom Tapestry. Welcome. We're going to have Ben on here. You know the drill. Welcome. Welcome to the freedom inside of us all. Hey.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am well. I'm excited. I'm excited for today. We've got another Los Angelian on here. You know, we've got a couple. Last week was Terry, who I think is possibly in here as well. I saw Mr. Amazing in here. And amusing, amazing. Yeah. You know, it's funny, Terry's his last name, I always never knew exactly how to pronounce it, but it's Maze. So I learned something along with all the other amazing stuff that Terry had to talk about last week about filmmaking. And, you know, today's going to be great because we're kind of keeping in that same filmmaking vibe. And I'm really excited about it because, you know, that is the world I come from, and, you know, and storytelling and many formats and all that. So, you know, I think so you met Gabe when you came out to visit here. Is that how you and Gabe met?
Yeah. So I was out traveling along the West Coast and chilling with you out on the West Coast in LA. And then I walked outside and I think I was waiting for an Uber or something right by a taco truck. And Here comes Gabe with his friend. And, you know, I'm just photographing, you know, the wonderful people that I meet along my way on the journey of life, right? So Gabe's eating this taco. We start chatting with his friend, and I was like, oh, interesting, and we started having this conversation. So I'm like, oh, can I take, you know, photograph you in this you know? And he's like, sure. And then he's like eating the taco, right? He's eating the taco.
Him eating a taco. It's very
eating the taco, and
obviously, you know, street
like,
tacos.
Exactly. Like we're there just eating the tacos. I'm like, sweet. Bring up the camera. There he is. And so then, you know, I'm like posting on my Aaron Jack Faces story. Later it comes back, like this quarantine happens and I start painting, you know, from that journey out west, because I was out traveling for 2.5 months.
Right.
And then I paint Gabe. And then he's like, wow, I love it. And we just start talking, you know, I'm like connecting with all these people that I connected with out there. And we start chatting. And I was like, wow, I should have you on a live. And then now I'm part of this. And I was like, Gabe, come be on part of the Freedom Tapestry Project. So it all, you know, has
it all connects. All the dots connect. It all started because of a taco truck literally down the street from me. I think it's the green taco truck at the mobile station.
That's the one.
I think
that's the one. It's the famous, the infamous, the green taco truck.
The green taco truck. I think it's called like Palais Tacos, or I don't even know.
Amazing tacos. I love.
Me too. They're great tacos there, and they've got amazing salsa. I mean, that's a whole other episode. We could talk about tacos and salsa, but back to the to the thing at hand. No, I think it's cool, and I think, you know, we've been really getting such a great you know, breadth of different artists and creatives coming on here, from, you know, fine painters to animation to, you know, like last week, obviously Terry kind of straddles the line between being a filmmaker as well as working in animation, being, you know, the part of heading up layout, which is such a fascinating department when it comes to digital at Disney Feature. You know, and they're working on their new movie right now, and so I think, you know, what's great is that, you know, Gabe works in the independent side of filmmaking, and comes from that space, which is where I also came from. You know, because I started in documentaries in New York, and then came out here to LA, and, you know, have been kind of forging my way, and now I've kind of fallen into a very interesting storytelling space. We just actually got announced in Indigenous Voices #1. Tab and I are going to be doing a commentary in that book that comes out from Marvel in November. So a little plug there. So this book comes out in November. It's going to be an amazing group of artists. It was put together with Jeffrey Veregi, who we worked with on the Marvel 1000. And now Jeffrey is also doing a 2-page spread in our issue number 3 of Werewolf by Night. And Jeffrey is an amazing artist. If you guys don't, we should absolutely, actually, speaking of, I should reach out to Jeffrey. He is, you know, he was actually featured in the Smithsonian doing pop native art, you know, doing like Darth Vader in a very native style. And, you know, so look up Jeffrey Veregi. You know, anyone out there, and Aaron, and I'll send you a link. And Jeffrey's an amazing artist. He did, if anyone's read the Marvel 1000, he did the 1-page with us for Red Wolf. So anyway, not going too far off topic, but so Marvel's been doing a lot of really interesting stuff with bringing in a lot of different kinds of voices and a lot of different artists. And they have a podcast that showcases voices that are, you know, kind of unique in the sense that they're not just a lot more of, you know, Doctor Strange, whatever, you know, or Captain America. And I think Marvel's really working hard. I mean, I know Marvel's really working hard. We're working with Marvel as well in that space, and it's really exciting. So, you know, and I'll have more to announce too. We just got asked about potentially doing another book for Marvel. And that'll be another announcement. But it's cool because
next week.
Yeah, next week. When we're able to make the announcement, I will.
Right.
But it's cool because, you know, where I am in the space that I'm really excited to be able to use Freedom Tapestry and build with Freedom Tapestry what we're building as a platform for us to be able to bring in, you know, new artists and new voices. You know, obviously this started literally a year ago. It was a year ago when this started with Samia and Samia in Damascus, and then also Lena in the UK. And you know, and that was kind of the inception of it, was the idea of, hey, we're all looking to free our voices and put them together into a tapestry of creativity. So that is the Freedom Tapestry. But without further ado, I want to let Gabe jump in, and he's going to talk about filmmaking and how he started out as a you know, shooting and DPing and now producing and working from, you know, kind of the ground up here in LA. And I think these are great stories to hear because it's inspiring for, you know, new artists that are looking to break in. And I think it'll be great, you know, to explore that and how you can get to a place where you can make it a career, which I think is so important. So it's not just a love and a passion, that you actually get paid for it. So speaking of, I've got to get back to finishing these revisions so I can get paid for it now.
Well, I'll give you a little update on what's happening with me. I've done like 8 Instagram lives this week. I think this is number 9 with different, mostly with photographers. I did one with a contemporary gallerist on my Aaron Jack line art page. On my Aaron Jack and Photography, I did 7 with amazing photographers who are like National Geographic, like editors and
I think
like Condé Nast in the past.
There was the one woman who was doing the dance, I think. She was
Mm-hmm.
She was a little bit older woman.
Daphne. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I watched a bit of that one. That was great, man. Awesome.
Yeah, they're the most amazing photographers. So I'm curating them for my show that I'm curating for Show Fields in New York. They have a store in New York City, and then they're gonna have one in Miami soon. So that's 5 p.m. on Tuesday. Is the show, and I have 16 amazing photographers part of that show. So tune in, check it out. And some of them are selling work for the first time, including one guy who's been in a tiny apartment, 2-bedroom apartment with his mom and his ex-wife in Queens, and been photographing like ways to see it in a humorous way. So
that's going to be an interesting part of the show. That'll be very a curious look at a very a nugget of real life.
Real life. So speaking of real life, Gabe has some amazing stuff, and he's here to share some wisdom with us. So
fantastic.
Let's get him on here.
Let's y'all go. Awesome. Thank you, Aaron, and congrats on all the awesome the live streams you got going. Great stuff.
Thanks, Ben. I'll catch you soon. We'll get an update next week.
Absolutely. All right.
See ya. All right, here we go. Let's get on Gabe. Thank you, everyone, for sticking around. I really appreciate your awesomeness and dedication to this channel. So here we go. Here we are with Gabe. What's up?
Yo, what's going on, man?
How you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you again. I heard Heard the taco story. Freaking love it, man.
What were you doing at the tacos? Tell me your
Dude,
side.
man, I was just eating tacos with my buddy Marcus, dude. He literally lives down the road. And we always end up walking to this taco spot late at night when we're hungry. And yep, it's the green taco truck at the mobile. And popped over and then just eating tacos. I think we were watching TV. And then there was like a little TV outside,
Yeah,
remember?
the little one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you walked up and you're like, dude, traveling, photographer. Can I take your guys' photos? And I'm like, heck yeah, why not? And then I see the photo a couple weeks later, and then a couple like months later, I see the drawing, and I was just stoked, man. So, yeah, dude, just appreciate you constantly reaching out and keeping in touch, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you being a part of that story and, connecting with all these other people and connecting me with the people that you're connected to. And that means a lot for me is like, that's why I photograph and like, go on these adventures is to meet people like you. And
Heck
now
yeah.
to like bring you into the fold of these other amazing things that, those are the moments that I live for. So thank you for being part of that.
Oh, dude, no worries, man. It's just like I love people, man, and I just love like sharing life and knowledge if I can. I got a little bit of that here and there. So, yeah, man, it's all love, dude. So, what have you been up to, man?
Nice. Well, so it's been like this curatorial thing really that's been keeping me going. And yeah, I mean right now I've been painting. Like the painting thing, once I painted the thing with you, then I started painting with all these musicians, and then I had a solo show that I just wrapped up 2 weeks ago with over 170 pieces.
Sick.
So that was like intense. It's like with a chef and like with the musicians and the chef and the gallerist and huge 1,600 square foot space. And so like,
Dude,
tell
that's
me
amazing.
what are you up to?
Man, I'm up to a little bit of everything during this quarantine. People are always hitting me
Mm-hmm.
up and saying, dude, you're like, everyone's kind of just like staying in, and rightfully so. We're in a pandemic, but like I've just been working and just having fun carefully, so being a part of different productions, music videos, commercials, TV show that we're working on right now for NBC Sports. So
Nice.
just a little bit of all that, man, just working on productions. And, the ultimate goal for me is just to make like impactful films, that people can take something away from and just, make them happy or feel like good emotions. So that's the goal for me. So I'm just constantly striving to get there, and just having fun with the process too.
Nice. And you came from the social media world, right?
Yes, yeah. So that's interesting. I talked to my buddy Dane about this a little while ago too, because it's a hard contrast for me because I came from just running and gunning with just my little DSLR camera and shooting everything I could. I would walk into any restaurant and I'll offer them like a promotional video. Any clothing store I went into, boutique type store, like, hey, do you need a video? Anything I could get my hands on, I'd film. And then pretty much came from the world of like action, sports with film like surfing and stuff like that. So that's how the ball started rolling with cinematography for me. And then stepped into the influencer space kind of by accident. I was in film school at the time, and a buddy said that he was brothers with an influencer, and then I offered to shoot with him for free, and then just kind of snowballed and started working with influencers in that space and doing it all for free, man. Just for the love of film and just trying to like, build my repertoire. And then through that, just started working with a lot more, people, brands, and yeah, but definitely a different world from production, actual productions, from like the social media way of producing things, you know what I'm saying, which is more like run and gun and just like one camera type deal.
Hmm. So is there any crossover or like what's that for you? Like, or what do you imagine and what do you imagine that could be?
100%, man. So there definitely is a crossover. I experienced it recently, working with my buddy Max Goodrich, who crushes it. He's an amazing cinematographer.
He
Um,
crushes it.
Yeah, dude, he's
I
great at what he does.
follow him. I follow him.
Oh, okay,
He
sick.
just
Yeah,
did the
yeah, yeah.
Will Smith thing, right?
Yep, 100%, dude. That
And then
guy's a
it's like
baller.
his head is like, go.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't know how he does half the stuff that he does, but um, just being on board with him on a couple productions recently too. Just because he does the production side of things as well, but also does social media, which I do as well. I'm shying more towards like larger productions than the social media aspect of things. But yeah, we literally linked up and we shot a couple TikToks for some artists. And yeah, just getting back into that like realm of things. There's definitely still production behind it, like with lighting and then planning shots and whatnot. But uh, there definitely is a stark contrast between the two, because when you're dealing with bigger productions, you have different people for every role. You have your producer, your director, your DP, your assistant camera, your second assistant camera. You name it, keep going. And on these shoots, it's more so like a small crew of one, two, or three, with people, doing multiple roles. Where it's like, you know, Max has got to direct, produce, DP and edit. And I'm kind of doing the same thing. DPing, helping produce, whatever I can do. So it's definitely a different world. And I like going back to the social media side of things too, because it just forces me to be creative and forces me to just like sharpen those other tools that I'm not working on all the time when doing, just one role on these bigger productions.
Mm. It forces you to like branch out and be all these different things.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I did like initially, when starting off, because it's like when you're starting off, I mean, if an artist hits you up to do like a low budget music video, I mean, you're essentially director, DP, producer, editor, all on your own, So it's like I was already kind of experiencing that in the beginning, but just going back to it with like after refining my skills, after like working on productions and working with more experienced producers and DPs and directors, then just going back into the social media realm of things, and then having to being allowed to like showcase my refined skills, as a one-man band or as a two-man band is just it's cool. It's cool to be able to do, so.
Wow. And we have who was Alaric's buddy?
Alec's buddy. Yeah, that's my buddy Alec from my college. That's funny. What up, Chelsea? Yeah, that's I met him at my college, and we were on the surf club out there. So we were yeah, we just did surf club. And funny enough, I got a funny story about that too. That's before I was getting into really like, heavy cinematography. I was transitioning from like the surf cinematography and filmmaking side of things, just filming from the beach and filming surfers and getting in the water with my GoPro and whatnot. And then my buddy Alaric introduced me to my buddy Chris, who was on the surf club as well. But he needed a video for because he was running for class president at my college. So he was like, Gabe, I need you to help me do a viral video, man. And I had never filmed audio in my life. It's always been like just like sports. So I had to buy a microphone and figure out how to like create a shot list and how to direct like talent. So that was the first video I actually ever made. That kind of just got my feet wet into like narrative style filmmaking. And then, funny enough, he won the election. The video went viral, and yeah, like so that was one of my intros to narrative style filmmaking, if you will, too. So funny little side story.
Wow. So there's a lot of people trying to make these viral videos and get stuff out there, and maybe you have some like advice or some words of wisdom and that you've learned over time. I mean, your first one, like that one got out there. So what kind of
Yeah.
words do you say for people out there?
I mean, just have fun with it, man. I feel like a lot of people put so much pressure on like going viral, especially nowadays with like TikTok. It's like anyone could go viral. My little sister threw a rock at the ground and it cracked open, and there was a couple of crystals on there, and she got like 3 million views. So it's like, and she's not like you know, I mean, it's just the video was just a silly little video and it got 3 million views. So it's like, I, I think I think if I could give anyone advice, it's don't try to go viral. Just like be yourself and do what you love and try new things too. And you can go viral in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? It's don't look for the virality and the fame and all of it. Just have fun doing what you're doing and creating art, and people will follow along on the journey, whether it's whatever 3 million views or 30,000 views or 30 views. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got people supporting your journey, following your journey. So that's the advice I give people. Just keep doing what you love, like in the art, and people will follow along and support you.
That's beautiful. That
Yeah.
I mean, that's beautiful to hear from you, who's gone there and done it. And
Yeah.
so and I guess you've also talked to your friends who have also kind of done that in their own ways.
Yeah, man. No, 100%. Like I've had, like my buddy Marcus. If I could speak a little bit on him, you
Go
met him
for
that
it.
night.
Speak.
Yeah,
I met Marcus.
super good dude, man. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like was recently in a horrific accident. Him and his wife got hit by a car. While they were on,
What?
while they were on a bike, and dude like clung to life, and thank God they're still here today, and like back in the thick of things. But had just like a super impactful talk with him the other day, just about social media and work, and just trying to stay relevant like in this market, because like you said, there's everyone's trying to go viral, everyone's trying to keep on top of the trends, like what's going on right now, what's popular, and creating videos to cater to the virality and the things that are trending. So like me just being in that space but not being in the spotlight gave him a little bit of insight to kind of the same thing I told you, man. Just like, he got famous by literally just being himself, like being silly, doing funny things, just like being himself. And that's what people loved. And then I guess once you get to that point where you have millions of people following you and, there's this immense pressure on you now, it's like, oh, shoot, like, what's the next trend? Like, how am I going to stay relevant to people? And yeah, pretty much just told him the same thing I told you, man. Just keep doing what you're good at, and your fans are gonna support you and love you, and just follow you along the journey. So he's doing his thing, and I know he's gonna be working on scripts and working on directing and acting in the coming year. So I'm stoked. Maybe we could get him on this channel
I'd
eventually too.
love that. I'd love
Yeah.
that. That would be amazing. I mean, yeah, him and his wife maybe, because
Oh
she
yeah.
has her whole own thing, like with the
100%.
makeup and then these stories. I started following, like they both kind of have their like interwoven stories.
Oh yeah, and his wife, Kristen's a sweetheart. She kills it too. Like I remember when I first met her, and first met her through Marcus, and she was very shy. And then through being with Marcus, this dude's like larger than life. And then she started to come out of her shell and do social media in her own regard, and now she's like that's just another example of doing what you love. She's doing her fashion and clothing and like makeup and all that, and she's just doing what she loved and doing it in a passionate and honest way. And people like that. People love the genuine nature of people as well. It's like that's what I appreciate as well, at least. It's like even with like some of these athletes, big athletes and stuff like that, people follow them on Instagram to see like the real them. It's like they see like LeBron James or something on TV dunking on people and like press conferences after. But then it's like you follow them on social media and you see their family, you see their kids, you see like the silly side of them. So it's like I think one piece of advice I could give people on social media, like virality and videos aside, is to just be genuine. It's like, and it's tough because, there's so much judgment and, judgment on social media. But like, the more genuine you could be, you'd be surprised how many people you could impact. And I think that's more important than trying to like put up a persona on social media, just being able to impact the people who are supporting your journey.
Wow, that's so beautiful. I mean, to say like, hey, like just be genuine out there, like, and
Yeah,
put that out there. I think that's,
100%.
it's easy to say when you haven't gone there, but when you've gone there and come back and know so many people who have gone there and come back,
Yeah.
I think that really there's something to be said there.
Yeah, man. And it's like kind of like what you said, like I was thankful enough to like have, that quote unquote like fame, maybe not to the extent of some like major influencers, but when I was working with the influencers in that space, like, I got like a bunch of followers through it. Like a lot of the videos I posted got hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, wow, like cool. Like people are following me. People like what I'm doing. Like this is great. And then like, if I could share a story, like
Yeah,
I
go
remember,
for it.
yeah, like once
Go
I
for it.
stopped working with a lot of those influencers and I left that space just because it was exhausting for me, like the constant, trying to keep up with the trends, trying to, do all that instead of like really working on the art of things, like I stepped away from social media for like a year and a half because I got so anxious. It's just like everything that I posted, I feel like I had so much pressure to be like this, this big filmmaker or this, everything that I, put out there had to be like perfect and like polished and all that. I felt like I couldn't, post a picture of my sandwich or something, or like a video of me laughing, so it's like, I just stayed off social media because I felt like there was so much pressure, from like people who are successful or your friends who have seen your success, and then like now you're just like you're not working with those influential people, um but yeah, then I slowly kind of just shook it off and I was like, yo man, like I have people who are following along on my journey, like what I just told you. It's like who appreciate my genuine nature, who appreciate my joy, and like who appreciate my hard work. And it's like if I could share any of that with them, that's all I'm here for, man. It's like, like the filmmaking and all that aside, like that's what I love to do. But if I could help impact people and, bring joy to them and, be a light to them, like that's what I'm trying to do. I love filmmaking, dude, but I'm just trying to put a smile on people's faces. And yeah, just, there's a lot of darkness in this world. So I'm just trying to be a light in it. My dad just joined in on this Instagram live. What's up, Dad?
Hey,
That's funny.
you're just saying you're trying to be a light in this world. What more could he want for you, right?
Amen. Amen. So it's all I'm trying to do, man. But yeah, man.
Wow, that's so beautiful to be a light in this world. And it's crazy what's going on. How do you see that more people could be a light in this world amidst this madness that some might interpret it as? Like
Yeah.
how to be a light and how to be a light on social media.
Yeah, man. I think kind of just going back to what we talked about earlier is just being genuine. It's like a lot of people try and put on like a front on social media and like try and be like, cooler than what they I don't want to say cooler than what they are because these people are cool, you know what I'm saying? But it's like
Right.
trying to put
But
on this like, yeah, this front where it's like, man, post your sandwich on your Instagram stories, be silly on there and be genuine. And that's just gonna, be a light to people because everyone's trying to put up this facade on Instagram where it's like, oh, I'm perfect, like always posting the good things. It's like be vulnerable on Instagram too. Like, it's like share something sad that happens with you, like talk about it with other people. It's like, I want like I try and use Instagram for more of just like a showcasing of like the highlights of my life, but to also kind of just like share with people like the realness of my life too. It's like I'm not like I choose to be joyous always, but I don't feel like that always. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of tough crap that's happened to me in my life, and like I've dealt with so much, but it's like I make the choice to be joyful and spread that joy, So if I could give anyone advice is just be genuine and real on social media and be respectful of others too and don't be harsh to like, you know, put down their points of view and stuff like that. Just be respectful of everyone and understanding and just be slow to anger, quick to listen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just be joyful through all the darkness in the world, even though it can be tough. It's like, yeah,
Wow. So I love what you're saying about like the joy and how my question now is like how to really find that joy. How do you find the joy within yourself given like all that tough shit that might be happening? Like
for
cuz
sure.
then to like walk us through that. Like what
I
what
mean,
what goes through your head? Like what do you do to deal with that in your own life?
for me personally, man, it's God for me. It's like I'm like I have a strong faith, so like that's what kind of pulls me through like the darkness in life. Like I've been in like dark spots where my mind just takes me to dark spots, and for me, just my faith in God has just pulled me through it, and I'm super thankful for that, and just kind of just continuing to choose joy, because like I say choose joy because you know life is going to continue to beat you up, it's going to continue to beat you down, but you could either just say, ah, crap, life sucks, and like, stay in your room, stay under the covers, or you can say, hey, this happened. Like, like you can't control, one of my favorite quotes, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my favorite quotes, where it's just like constantly choosing joy every day. And it's tough, it's literally like retraining your mind, because society tells you like, you know, uh, just kind of like, I don't know. It's like there's so much darkness that's put out there, like on social media and traditional media, and there's so many sad and like uh, just bad stories told, and not enough good stories. So yeah, like what I try and do is just continue to choose joy, and not try and like force it down people's throats. But if people see what I'm doing and they ask me, how I have my joy, I'll share how I have my joy, and let them know that it's a constant process to try and choose joy.
Mm, that's so beautiful. I
Thanks.
love it. I think that's like that's so important to put out there in the world, and just like to encourage other people to find the way to do it themselves and the tools to start to find that inside. I think that's I don't know. You have a gift, so and it's beautiful that you also have a voice to do that with.
I appreciate it, man. And it's like, yeah, whether it's social media or whether it's just real life, I just try and do it where it's like I said, like I don't always feel happy, or I don't always feel, you know what I'm saying, the most joyful, but it's just like, how am I going to choose to treat others around me? You know what I'm saying? Like, how am I going to speak? Like, when I speak to people, am I going to like be, loud and obnoxious? Am I going to like call them names? Like, no, I'm going to treat people with respect. I'm going to, be kind to people, because there's already enough of all that bad crap out there. It's like, I'd rather be one of the voices that's like building people up and helping them choose joy, rather than just being another voice that's breaking you down. So
Hmm.
that's my choice.
That's so beautiful that you call it a choice, and that's I think that's the start of it, and that it's not just like, oh, I made that choice once.
Mm,
And I
for
think
real.
that's also in here that I just want to pull out is like that you say it's a choice every day, and
Oh, for sure.
that
100%. I think that's so important, because like humans are so emotion driven, and we're human, we have emotions. You know what I'm saying? It's like we feel sad, we feel pain, you know what I'm saying? But it's like all of these things are those emotions are temporary, as is joy. So it's like you have to continue to choose joy every day. You know what I'm saying? You can choose to wallow in sadness. You can choose to like, be angry, but it's like, the all of those feelings are going to go away as the joy also goes away, but you have to continue to choose that joy every day. And as you continue to choose joy, you're going to spread joy, because it emulates from you. You know what I'm saying? So just like that joy that you're choosing to live, other people are going to feed off of it, and you're going to spread it without even trying.
Those are some good
We
words
were
there.
here to talk about film, and now we're talking about life, man.
That's the way it is, right? Well,
I
now
love
we're
it.
gonna tie it together. Now I wanna know how those two can come together, because we've talked a little bit about the influencing and the, you know, the influencers and the working with them, and we've talked about the your vision of how to choose joy, and I'm wondering how to kind of bring the two together. Like, how would you like to bring that together, and how do you feel like that could be brought together in the future to be a more perfect union?
Definitely, man, 100%. I mean, one way I unify those two, you know, like my joy and, you know, filmmaking is just being kind to people on set. And whether I'm in a leadership role or not on a production, it's just treating people with respect and, you know, encouraging them as a part of the production. You know, if I'm a producer and I'm leading a team of people, you know what I'm saying? It's like you have to lead them with like honesty and you know, joy. Essentially, I was trying to look for another word, but I'm just gonna use that word again. You know, it's like if you're on a production and you're doing that, typically you love what you're doing in filmmaking. So it's like I try and just share my love for filmmaking, you know, and treating them right, because, you know, they're humans and they deserve to be treated right, and no one deserves to be treated like crap, you know. So it's like if I can just continue to build people up on set, that's just only going to make them want to work harder and, you know, help accomplish the task at hand where we're on a production. And then if I could take that even further with my goal for films, yeah, it's just to like make good films out there for the world too. You know, it's like just tell stories that can impact people. You know what I'm saying? Just like films of, you know, not necessarily like a joyful story, but like real stories of people as well that, you know, can, you know, showcase anger and sadness and all that. But at the end of the day, you know, like that joy coming through, you know, by people's choices or, you know, realization and stuff like that. So yeah, man, my goal is just to, you know, treat people well and just create good films in that process, you know? Um, yeah. And I definitely, that's definitely tough for me because I love action films and I love like, you know, like thrillers and killing and stuff like that in films too. It's badass, but it's like I'm also trying to like find that line where it's like that, like that's a reality of life too, like war and death and all that. So it's like I'm also trying to find a fine line where it's like, okay, telling those types of stories as well, but like also just showing like the realness of life too, because like, you know, there is war, there is death, but like there's also life that comes after that, you know. So yeah, that's what I want to do, man. Just make good films.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful, interesting balance between the 18 seconds and the or
Oh
15
yeah.
seconds and the full power of a feature film,
Mm.
or how that relates to someone. The can you fit that in like 15 seconds, or like what can you fit into 15 seconds within that, or is it not meant to in that terms for you?
I think you can, because like, dude, there's some videos that I watch on TikTok sometimes, or, you know, Instagram or something, that make me feel that emotion, that same emotion or emotions that I get from movies. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, you know, I'll watch something online of like, yeah, I just watched something Max posted the other day. You might have seen it too. It was just like this one guy who had dementia, and older guy, and they said he only had a year left to live, and his goal was to boogie board again for, you know, out in the ocean. And then these guys went up and they gave him a boogie board and they helped him out through the waves, and, you know, they helped this old guy boogie board. You know, so it's like seeing that on social media just like makes me see like the light on this earth, and like people, you know, choosing joy and positivity and kindness. So it's like I think that's what social media is awesome about, you know what I'm saying? Because it gives like, yes, it can be very exhausting and, you know, like stressful so much pressure on social media, but it's like it also like it gives the opportunity for like all of these joyful, positive moments as well to be shared, you know? And yeah, I try and just make the conscious choice too, just to follow, you know, positive channels or, you know, see content, put content in my face that I want to see, as opposed to, you know, following stuff that, you know, maybe I'll see something that I want to see, maybe something's like entertainment. But yeah, you know, that to go back to the question about the 15 seconds, I do think that you can achieve the same emotions and tell stories in that short amount of time. Um, and not to say it's better or worse, you know, because movies, it's just what, 90 minutes plus of a story and emotions and storytelling. But I mean, dude, I remember Vine back in the day, you know, you only got 7 seconds, and there's so much emotion and storytelling, and it kind of forced people to tell a story more creatively because you only had 7 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that sharpened filmmaker skills as well, you know, because, you know, if you can tell that story in 7 seconds, you can apply that to film as well and be more creative with a singular shot, you know, moving forward with scenes within a movie, you know? So I think they're both very impactful. They're both very like relative, like in the world today, and they can cross over. Like we were talking, you know, earlier too. It's like a lot of people are like, oh, social media this, or oh, traditional media this. But I mean, dude, they cross over all the time. And I think both of them are still super important to the world we live in today, you know?
Wow. I think that's just like good advice, just coming over and to like speak to creatives about and how and that relationship between the these different formats.
For
That's
sure.
I think that's so important, is like anybody can create this is like with a phone in their pocket, but what
Yes.
do they
Yeah.
do with it? And it's not just like making it, it's also the choice inside that people are making.
Oh, 100%, man. 100%. And I love what you just said right there. Like, we're in a day and age where it's like my professors in film school and stuff like that, like, they said they had to have huge film cameras, beta cam cameras, and like, in order to capture something, you had to have something, you know what I'm saying, 2 feet long, you know, to capture a moment. And now we have 4K iPhones in our pocket that can create a great image, you know? So it's like, I think that's so important too, man. We live in a day and age with technology where it's like, if you want to tell a story, you literally have the phone in your pocket to tell that story, you know, and you have free software on the internet to edit that story. And you have friends and talent online that, you know, will be willing to act in it, or you can capture live real moments. So it's like you kind of have no excuse nowadays, you know what I'm saying? If you want to create something, it's like create it, man, you know, tell the story, you know. It's like, yeah, you got it in your pocket now, you know. It's like you don't got to carry around a giant camera, you know. It's your phone can do just enough.
Wow. So
Yeah.
now I've got another question here. I want to know how you might start scripting for like, I know you bring together the big productions, but how you might script together something small for social media
Mm.
with like the talent that you also have for like these big productions. How might you give some people advice to delve in deeper, to use what they've got, to put stuff out there and to experiment and try? Like what kinds of tools should they be looking into? What kinds of where to start to like box with it more, you know what I mean? Like,
No, for sure, man. And if you have to recommend, if I had to recommend a tool, to tell you the truth, and it's so funny, a lot of me and my filmmaker buddies who went to film school or not, we always reference YouTube University, or it's like, you know, if you don't know how to do something, or if you know, you want to figure out how to edit a video, or figure out how to use a certain camera, or figure out how to write a script, go on YouTube, how to write a script, what software to use. So it's like, you know, how to use this camera. Someone's got a tutorial on it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if I could give one piece of advice to like creatives wanting to learn, I'd say YouTube it, man. You know, it's like, it's that easy. It's like when I have people come to me and they're like, oh, dude, how do I do this, Gabe? Can you share insight with me? I'm like, 100% I can share insight. Like, I love sharing knowledge, but like, also seek knowledge for yourself too, you know, where it's like, like I said, we live in a day and age, like you have your cell phone in your pocket, you could tell a story, and you have the internet. It's like, you know, like my dad and my grandpa didn't have the internet to just Google something, and now we can just Google something or YouTube it, and you know, you got your answer right there. So YouTube University, yep, all my buddies would
Yeah.
say YouTube University. That's funny. What up, y'all? But yeah, I would say YouTube, man. You know, if you're just getting started, YouTube and a cell phone is all you need. You know what I'm saying? Like if people are overwhelmed, like, oh, I need a, what camera do you get? I don't know how to start. Blah 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 blah. Dude, YouTube and a camera, and a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the best way to start, in my opinion. And then from there, you know, ask more questions. You know, watch more tutorials, and then you'll start to move up to you know, different cameras and, you know, different tutorials. What up, Andres? uh, but yeah, man, you know, it's just like if I were to give anyone advice on how to start, yeah, literally just YouTube and a cell phone, you know, like that easy.
What should they be looking up? Like, what are some key terms that they should be like, here's my top 5 terms that I'm going to be like YouTube University?
I mean, if I would recommend what to look up, it's how to edit. You know, it's like Premiere Pro tutorials, Adobe Premiere Pro, or, you know, whatever other editing software you want to use. You know, look up how to edit. And there's literally guys who will break it down in 5 minutes or 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? As detailed as you want it. You know, so editing, 100%, I think is crucial. And then just different camera techniques too. You know, just like how to actually use your camera, because there's a lot of people who are you know, go into the auto settings and like autofocus and all that, and that's, you know, that's good at times, I believe, you know, like especially autofocus, you know, but it's like really learn how to use your camera, go into like learning what aperture is, and then dive deeper into like the ring that opens up and the light that goes in and hits the sensor, and like what ISO is, and you know, and then learning how to use you know, neutral density filters so you can keep your shutter speed low, or you know when to crank your shutter speed, like little things like that. I would advise people to look up like how to actually use their camera instead of just like, you know, pointing and shooting, which is cool, but you know, like once you start moving past the iPhone phase, or like, you know, the auto settings phase, actually learn how to use it, and know what settings to put your camera in to achieve the look that you want to get. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Nice. So we
that's
got
something
like,
I would advise.
so I want to just like, we got like 5 minutes to look through some of this. I know it's like
For sure.
we could be on here for hours and days, and you
Oh,
know, we'll have to do
100%.
this again sometime, but
Yeah.
let's just see, you know, quick, like what's going on, a little bit of your work. We got a little bit, I got so into like you talking about life. I love it. So
we we ended up talking about more life than film, but I don't mind it, man. I don't mind it at all. So there, we were on a production for my buddy Jordan Taylor Wright, the one on the left, the guy not wearing a shirt, just running around on set like a monkey man. Good guy. But it was his production, and me and my buddy Blaine went on to help him. We got our other buddies on there as well to help out. And he was doing a dance video for Kyle Hanagami, I believe is his last name. And he was creating a piece for his grandparents, I believe. It was just like it was a passion project for him. And you know, that guy Kyle has, you know, done massive things. He's a choreographer who's choreographed for, you know, Justin Bieber, Ariana Grande, you know, you name it. And you know, he wanted to do a passion project for his grandparents, and he brought Jordan on board to direct it, and we came on as supporting roles to help him bring the vision to life. And he had the dancers hanging from harnesses, and you know, doing like aerial moves and whatnot. And then in VFX, they went in and they removed all the strings and the harnesses to make it look like they were floating in you know, in space. So that was definitely a cool video to be a part of, and just get to see, like, I had never seen that. I had never seen people harnessed up, and you know, the removal of those like strings and harnesses, and being able to see how he directed that and how the choreographers worked to, compose this dance piece, it was cool, man. So that's all of them huddled up looking at playback on one of the shots we got there.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the shot of the guy hoisted up on the with the harness. You see the strings holding him up from the harness, and I think he has to put the harness on, put pants over, and then tuck the shirt in over it to hide the harness as much as possible. And then yeah, we get all our shots, and then in VFX they go out and scrub out the harness and the strings and all that. And it was even harder because there was two fans in the background, and we were shining light through two fans. So there was a lot of motion going on in the background, which makes it a lot harder for the VFX artists. But I mean, they crushed it, dude, and they were able to take the harness and those strings out no problem, and it looked great.
Wow. Props
Yeah.
to those VFX artists.
Yep, that's the squad right there, man. That's me, my buddy Jordan, and my buddy Blaine. Yeah,
Nice.
pretty much. Yeah.
Nice. You're bringing the team together, right? That's kind of like part of your role is to.
Yeah. As a producer, it's like kind of just like putting the right people in place to make it happen. It's just like putting the right people in place, right locations, right equipment, just making sure everything's in place to make the production happen. So that's the team, man.
Nice. So how do you find and go to meet the team? Like what's your briefly,
Dude,
like what's your way to like meet the team and like so that way you have the team to like link up and do the thing.
For sure. Real quick, let me give my buddy a shout
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
IPG Visuals, what up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hit me up. Let's talk soon. But yeah, production wise and putting the team together, man, I think it just has to do with kind of like experience from like where I'm at now. It's just like the amount of people I've worked with, and then just like realizing like who is the best to work with. And notice how I didn't say the best at their craft, because I like, me personally, I like to put together teams that people I want to be around. Like they may not be the best DP or the best gaffer or the best assistant camera, but it's like if I want to be around you on set and you're exuding positivity as well, we'll figure the rest out. It's like if I got to help you frame a shot, or if we got to do the take again because you missed focus or something like that, that's all good. It's like, but it's like I like to put good people together on set, and then the rest takes care of itself. Yeah, that's how I like to do it. And I've just built a team of people who I've worked with in the past, and they're pretty much my go-tos moving forward on productions. And then if they can't be a part of the production, I'll trust someone who they'd recommend. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much how I go about like finding my teams, man.
Beautiful.
Heck yeah. Love that, dude. Same production as well, and that's just me being a goof on set, dude. Like I've told you, it's just me being joyful, just being goofy, man. That's me.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's my camera, a red camera. Not ashamed to say that my dad helped me purchase that, when I at the start of my career. And at first I used to be like a little, ashamed. I was like, oh, I don't want to seem like I got handouts or whatnot, but it's like, hey, like my dad was willing to spend his hard-earned money to buy me a tool that was going to help advance my career. Like I'd be a fool to say no to that or not accept it. And it's like, I realized that was a gift and such a huge opportunity for me. That's why I try and just, share that with everyone else. If someone wants to use the red, I'll go with them and I'll help them shoot. Or, if someone wants information on the red, I'll share it with them or teach them how to use it. Or, I realized that was such a big gift to me. So I like sharing that, paying it forward, but yeah, that's my camera, man.
Wow. That's so beautiful. That's like, that's taken you a lot of places, right?
Oh, dude, it's opened up so many doors in my career. It's insane, and I'm just super thankful for it, man.
Wow. The tools at hand.
Yeah, man. Okay. That's my buddy Dane and Aaron on a recent music video, and they were crafting the lighting for this shot, and the talent sat on those paper towel rolls. Tori Ruperto, super talented musician, and yeah, she performed a scene in there. I don't want to give too much away because the music video is not out yet, but yeah, she performed a scene in there. Just in a janitor's outfit, and yeah, sang her song in there. But that was us pretty much crafting the light in that bathroom, and we put a light overhead, to just showcase her and angle the light straight on her. And those Dane and Aaron crushed it, and just such a small space, but they made it work, man.
Wow. We might have time for one or two more here. We've got like
Okay.
4 more minutes.
Yep.
So
Yep, that's the crew. That's the crew for that music video. That's Tori in the jumpsuit right there, the janitorial jumpsuit, and that's the Rockstar team, man, that helped put it together. Love all those people. Oh, that's me in front of the camera for once. That was a commercial that we worked on for Movement watch company, and it's actually going to be a national TV spot. So super pumped on that. Been fortunate to work on that, and yeah, that was me standing in as a stand-in so that they can shape the light. So yeah, that's just me standing in front of camera.
wow. So let's go back and just like hang out for a second. I just want to give
Yeah.
you a minute to say anything else that you just want to get out there in the world right now.
Man, what I just want to get out there in the world is, filmmaking aside. Oh, there it goes. Filmmaking aside, and what passions aside. Kind of what we talked about earlier. Just choosing joy in this life, because, life's gonna throw punches at you. You're gonna bad things are gonna happen. Unfortunate things are gonna happen. Anger, sadness, and even joy, that will all come and go. But just try and make the conscious choice every day to choose joy, and your life will be happier because of it. That's the advice I'd give. And if anyone ever wants to know how to do that or tips, hit me up. I'm always here to talk. I just love talking to people, and yeah, just spreading that joy.
Oh, beautiful. So for
And I
anybody
appreciate you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate you. I so appreciate you. I appreciate you being on this journey of life with me. There are
Heck yeah,
interwoven, connected ways.
Heck yeah, man. I love it, dude. I love people. So let's keep doing this.
We got it. So whoever's not following either one of us, make sure to follow the other one. If you don't do it now, do it later after it's posted. We'll post it in the description. So we've got a minute and a half. I want to say thank you for watching the Freedom Tapestry Project. We bring on amazing people in tech, movies, film, animation, Syrian artists from around the world, just awesome people. I'm Aaron Jack. I'm bringing on like a bunch of painters, gallerists, curators, all kinds of people, awesome people on my own Aaron Jack line art channel, Aaron Jack and Doc Photography. Right now I'm working on curation with Showfields. That's going to happen on Tuesday. So that's a store in New York City. I've got 16 amazing photographers, like blow my mind, who are all part of that. I've been doing lives all week long and have 3 more tomorrow. So please check that out. It's just been amazing, and all the amazing footage. And thank you, Gabe, for like hanging out today and being a part of life with me. I appreciate you.
100%. I love you, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Samia, for making the Freedom Tapestry Project happen and being the backbone behind keeping it going. So thanks, Gabe. Thank you, everybody watching. I'll see you next week.
See ya.